This video is going to be a quick how-to to help you solve the question of what to do when you feel like your jobs are getting stuck in the pipeline and not moving forward as you expected them to. So this is going to be part of our series on how you can troubleshoot little things in TaxDome that maybe aren't working the way you expected them to, or you just need a little bit of extra guidance. So we get this question a lot, and it is that my jobs are sitting in a stage and I don't know why because I expected them to move forward. There's definitely a wide variety of reasons why this could happen, but the best way to do that check and see and understand why is to go and find that particular job inside of your pipeline, take a look, make sure you're looking at the right one, and go into the job card and let's see what happens. So one thing to note is just at the very top here, there is this status. If you have a status, anything other than active, it is going to hold that job up and it is going to pause it from moving forward. So you do want to make sure that your jobs are sitting in that active stage in order to be able to move forward. As long as you do have that status and maybe it's still not moving, then you're going to move over here and you're going to see what is holding it up. So this indication is letting you know what needs to happen in order for it to move forward. So in this case, there is an open task. So that's, at its most simple, where you would be able to scroll down, you can see, oh, here's the task, I need to go ahead and finish that. And so that is, again, at its easiest, but there's other things that can be holding it up. Sometimes you might have multiple things sitting there in that job card that you are waiting for to complete. And so here's another example where there are actually a couple of client-facing actions that need to be done. So if you have an invoice that you tied to the job or a proposal tied to the job, anything that is tied to the job that is pending the client's action, that is going to prevent it from moving forward. So when I say tied to the job, that means that the action that's pending the client is literally inside of your job card, and you would be able to see that it is sitting there and it is not complete. So that is, again, it is part of the job, and the whole purpose of that is you want things to not move forward until that client action is done. You do have the option here to pay the invoice for them, record an offline payment. You can always remove it right here from being tied to the job as well. But it is going to tell you here again what those actions are. Again, you could have multiple things going on there, and so you just want to double check, see if there are any sort of items that are being held up by the client, and then you want to make sure that you're following up on those or helping the client complete those. Another thing we do see from time to time is that the actual stage is not set to auto move. That's a really easy fix, and it's also something that's really easy to miss. So you do want to make sure that those are turned on so that they are moving forward. Another thing that we do see is if you have a stage that there is no action that triggers the auto move, it may sit in that stage. So for example, if you have automation such as just like emails or sending messages and there's no trigger to move it forward, the job is going to sit in that stage because it doesn't have a trigger to connect to the auto move. Triggers are things like a task, completing a task. Triggers are things like signing a proposal, completing an invoice or an organizer. So there are actions that are being taken that will drive that automation and drive that auto move. And so if jobs are getting stuck in a stage, it's worth going to take a look and see, do you only have non-trigger based automations in there? If that is the case, then you probably need to make some edits to that stage to make sure that there is some action taking place that will trigger that auto move. And one last thing that we do see from time to time is that there could be some automations that are or are not working appropriately because of tags and using conditions. And so you do want to make sure that whatever that movement forward is that you expect, that you have the correct tags on the job and that it is going to be performing those automations based on those tags, or vice versa. If they shouldn't have those tags, you want to make sure that they don't. So that can impact those automations and the auto move as far as how it moves forward throughout the pipeline. So you do want to make sure that you have all of those tags set correctly as well. So at the end of the day, the best place for you to go in and check really is to start by looking at that job card, see if there is anything pending, and from there going in and checking to make sure that you do have things set up correctly on the pipeline itself. So that's it for this quick little training. If you have any questions or if there's other scenarios that you're seeing that you could use some help with, we do offer a future-proof membership, future-proof accountant membership, where you can go in, you can get live support where we really will help you troubleshoot. We can take a look at things, you can send us Loom videos, and we'll help you troubleshoot to make sure things are flowing and working the best way possible and how they should be inside. If you want to learn more about that, you can click the link below, and we'd love to see you in there.